Well, hello, everybody. So every 6 months or so, I like to reevaluate where I am at with my planners. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and think about it. Other times I've been thinking about it and I have already kind of thought I've made a decision, but really sitting and thinking about it just sort of refines that. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So let's have a chat, a planner chat, if you will, about where I am at in the middle of the year. And we're going to start with my personal planning because of all of them, this is the one that is going fine. Maybe not going as well as I would like, but I'm not making any changes, maybe is the way to put it. So this is my Moxie Life Vertical. This is the planner I have been using since the start of the year. As you can see, it's getting to be chonky. I think it should be fine by the end of the year. I'm trying to mix it up when it comes to things like stickers and what I'm using and whatnot. So it's going well. The thing I have been kind of like, there's been plenty of weeks like this where by the end of the week, I just couldn't deal. Like I was sick or I was tired. Doing dialysis this year has really made my planning situation a lot more flexible is not the right word, a lot more sporadic, maybe. And I did do a video last week on my toxic planner habits, and let's just say that the big one, they've all been talked about, and they're all present in this guy for the most part. But yeah, doing the weekly check-ins has not been something I've been very good at lately. I'm trying to get better at it, trying to get back in the feel of it. But generally speaking, it's been going well. I've been having fun using up stickers for my no-buy. And then like this week that we're in currently, I actually did a rainbow week with markers and pens. I'm currently in the middle of it, and this was a lot of fun. So I'm having fun with this planner, and I am using it. So I just want to get better at doing the check-ins. I'm doing okay planning out my actions for the week and following through on some of them, but I'm not doing as good checking back in with myself. And I find those to be both valuable and the thing that is the most tedious to me, which is probably why it is the thing that gets dropped most of the time. So anyway, something I'm working on. We'll see how it goes. But this is definitely something that I'm going to continue using. I will be doing the quarterly compass and everything in a video coming up. I'm going to kind of just do all of my personal quarterly stuff in one video. But generally speaking, the Moxie Life is working. The vertical layout I knew would be just fine. The vertical layout is, whether it's Moxie Life, when it's been Erin Condren in the past, vertical has always been something that I can come home to. Like, it is a layout. I like to try horizontal layouts. I like to try other layouts out from time to time. But the vertical style of layout, whether it's in this or this one in the old Inkwell, the first Inkwell Press layout, were two of my absolute favorites. So yeah, this one is doing just fine. And I am likely going to be getting another Moxie Life for next year because that is the kind of planner that has been working really well for me. Having personal goals and personal weeks together, very helpful. So everything is gravy here, except for the parts I haven't been doing, but whatever, that gravy. However, work planning is where I have been struggling. And it's not that this wasn't working for me. It's just okay. So what I've been using for my work planning is a combination. I am so disjointed. I should also mention that along with this, the other personal life planning tool that I use is my Google Calendar, which has all of our family's appointments and everything on it. I don't time block my days. I don't use it to schedule anything besides timed appointments, things that have a time on them, like maybe even if it's not an appointment, even if it's something like going to an event or something, all of that is on the calendar. And as you can see from this screenshot, over on the left are all of my calendars that I use. There's a handful of them. Currently, there is a personal calendar, which I mostly use for reminders and things like that. My Cindy GB's Patreon calendar is actually the public calendar that I share with my patrons that has all of our live streams on it. The family calendar is the one that we use the most in the house. It has all of our appointments for the whole family on it. Just things that, like Sunny's appointments are on there, RJ's, Jesse's, mine. Like, this is just the family, the main Google calendar, really. And then I have a Layla calendar that we were using more when she wasn't going to daycare, when we were walking her 3 times a day, as opposed to the once or so that we walk her now. I kept it because we may use it again, but that's not really in use right now. The reminders and the tasks, I keep them showing because I use them from time to time, but not very often. And then finally, the work calendar has work-related appointments on it as well. But yeah, the Google Calendar and my Moxie Life they're working fine for me for personal life, so not making any changes there. That is not the same, though, for my work planner. So this is the work planner I started the year out with. It is my Sterling Ink Common Planner. I really love it. However, I haven't been using it. And part of that is because I'm also using Notion, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I don't know what it is about this that I've been setting it up and not using it. So I'm not really sure if it's the planner or if it is, I'm just needing something different entirely than a paper planner this year. So I'm going to set it aside for 1 month. Most of the pages are blank, so I will be able to come right back to it and not feel guilty if this doesn't work for me. But I'm going to give myself a month of trying something else for my work paper planner, and that is the Sprouted Planner Weekly. I have a video where I reviewed this one and the daily one. I'll link it down below. They may still have some in stock. These are the 2023 calendar year planners, so they were on deep discount. But what I'm thinking is I will go into this and utilize the weekly layout to list out my top items and then use this page as an HB90 kind of task blocks situation. I'm not sure yet. If you are interested in me doing a weekly layout with this, let me know in the comments below. But that's what I think I'm going to do just for the month of July. We're going to see how it works. And if I get reinvigorated, it may reinvigorate me to keep using this, or it may reinvigorate me to go back to my Sterling Ink. I'm not sure yet. So I will be setting this up in a way. I will be doing a setup with doodles and everything else. My patrons have already picked something for this month. So that's all going to happen. But instead of being in the Sterling Ink, it's going to be in here. I think there is also a major possibility that I will only need a work planner for note-taking because I have done so much in Notion. So I might have just shot my paper planning self in the foot, but it's working. And a big reason it's working for me is because I do so much work now while I'm on dialysis on my laptop that having a paper planner to write in is kind of a pain in the ass, because writing when you only have one hand to use and everything is being juggled is kind of, it's not easy. And typing on the laptop, also not easy, but a lot easier than trying to write and shit in a planner. So that may be why I made that change. And I don't know if I was anticipating that or not. Regardless, the Sterling Ink is not going far away. I'm going to keep it around because I plan to come back to it one way or the other. But I thought I'd give this Sprouted Planner a try because I really like the weekly kind of dashboard style layout, and I think I could easily make this work for HB90. Speaking of HB90, the other thing that Notion has kind of murdered is my Kanban board. It is currently blank. I have never set it up for this quarter, because this next upcoming quarter, because I never wound up using it this quarter. I have all of my tasks and all of everything in Notion, as well as a Kanban style board. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to it or not. I want to. I love my Kanban board, but again, I'm not spending a lot of time down here in my office because I'm on dialysis so much and I haven't really gotten a good balance yet. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen to my Kanban board. The board behind me might be used for brainstorming or something else, but it's Notion that has really been taking over my entire life, if you will. Now, I'm not going to do a full tour of it right now because I will do that in my next video when I do my quarterly reset for work, and I'll show you all how I've got HB90 set up there and everything else. I will do that. But to suffice it to say that work planning has not really been happening on paper whatsoever. Personal planning, absolutely. Work planning, not so much. So I'm not really sure how this is going to shake out. But I know that for right now, going into the second half of 2023, my work planning is both working just fine, the Notion shit. I guess maybe what I'm trying to figure out here is, am I trying to make something like this work because I can't reconcile, since I'm always someone who's worked better on paper, I can't reconcile that I've done most of it now on the computer. Am I just trying to put a square peg in a round hole here because this is how I've always done it? I don't know. And that's a question that I'm still kind of turning over in my mind, and why I think changing it up to this might be a way to test that theory, because if it's not the planner, if it's just the paper that I'm not using, then I need to just accept that. But I'm not quite there yet. I don't think I'm there yet. So I'm going to give this a try, but I'm going to keep using Notion and see how that goes. Generally speaking, though, the Notion thing has been working out really well for me. So I don't know. I thought that this chat was going to be a lot longer than it's turned out to be, but it really doesn't take a lot of time to say personal planning's working for me, work planning not so much. Maybe it was going to be longer than this. I don't know. I just wanted to come and just tell you right now that mid-year, There are some things about my personal planning in terms of checking in with myself that I haven't really been doing, and I feel like I should be doing them. Not just because, like, oh, it's in the planner and you should do it, but it's actually really helpful to reflect. I just haven't really been making time for it. So that's something to think about. But when it comes to work planning, I guess the real question that I'm still kind of wrestling with is, do I even need a planner like this right now? Do I? I don't know. It's always helpful for me to have a list to check things off so I don't get so squirrely. But at the same time, if I'm working in two or even three different spots and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not sure. I'm really not sure. So I'm going to give this a try for a month, maybe 2 months. A month isn't always enough time for me to know. And then maybe the quarter. I'll use the quarter to make a decision. Do I actually use a work planner or not? Like out of the 13 weeks in my basic quarter, because I use 13 weeks for my planning system. My 13 weeks, how many of those weeks did I use a paper planner for work and how many of them didn't? And if it's over 50%, then maybe I'll keep giving it a try. And if it's not, then maybe I should just reconcile myself to the fact that I might just be using digital systems for right now. I don't know. Give me your thoughts in the comments. How are you doing as we are now hitting the mid-year? Are you an academic planner person? Are you buying your new planner now? Are you middle of the year and like feeling squirrely? Are you feeling good with your systems? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.